What's going on, YouTube? So as you can see, I created a gamer tag specifically for playing ranked games while streaming. Been using the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you haven't checked out the stream that I have on Twitch, look for a link in the description here on this video. We're going to be streaming a little bit here at the end of Madden 25, but when Madden 15 drops, we're going to be streaming almost every day to start off the new season of Madden. Been using the Jacksonville Jaguars exclusively. As you can see, I was 36-3. It took us quite a while before we got a first loss with the Jaguars. It's a lot of fun because, one, it's a struggle. I mean, the block sheds. I mean, we're facing the Niners and the Seahawks 75% of the time when we're playing ranked games. And it's a struggle with the block sheds and all the crazy stuff that happens, all the things that favor, a much better team. So, when we have a dogfight in our hands, the stream really likes it because it's exciting and it's a close game. But then, anytime we blow out the Niners or the Seahawks, that's also a lot of fun because people just like to laugh at those users that end up losing to the Jaguars and they're using the best team. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. While I'm streaming, I'm kind of like a scatterbrain, right? I'm setting my playlist for music. I'm changing the song every other song, looking at that, looking at the chat, talking to people, posting links in the description, trying to promote the YouTube channel and the Gamers Lab website and all this kind of stuff. So I'm really distracted, and I play terribly when I'm distracted. I'm the kind of guy where I need to sit in my room, my living room, wherever the case may be, and I need to focus and play. I've always been like that. If I'm out of my element, I'm really terrible, and streaming is one of those things. So because of that, I've been using my super custom playbook in all of these ranked games. If you haven't seen that scheme, it's primarily a run scheme where we're running for 4, 5, and sometimes 600 yards a game. It's not your typical, load it up with strong powers and buck sweeps, even though we definitely take advantage of those runs. There's a lot more thought behind it, and my record with that scheme is it's like 110-6. It's something crazy, and a lot of the guys have been watching me, dominate with it on stream. And the reason I use it is because it really doesn't take much thought. Now that I've mastered it, and it primarily focuses on the run game, I can do a million things, and even though it's not perfect, I still can have a lot of success because I don't really need to concentrate that much, right? It's not really that hard to just run the ball, even though I do play terribly defensively because I'm not concentrating. But anyway, so the reason for today's video is because I'm playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, and as you can see here, I'm about to go down 14-0. And the thing that's really annoying about this, even though he really should have got that user pick right there, that's really the only good play this guy made the entire game. Really should have got the user pick, but I got some crazy animation, and that would have been devastating to go down 17 or 21-0 if he got that pick. So I'm playing against a guy who's using the defensive tackle. And when I play against, I don't play ranked games. That's not really my thing, but I'm doing it for the purpose of the stream. I play against high-level guys, TGL guys, tournament guys that I know that are high levels. Not all, but most of the leagues I play in are high level. Every once in a while I do get into like a sim league for the fun of it, just to kind of mess around and lab and stuff like that. So, when I come up with a lot of my run plays and the run scheme, I'm using it against people that are using the linebacker, using the safety, and I'm dominating them with it. As you can see, this guy, he's just terrible, right? It's just terrible, but he gets out to a 14-0 lead. And now the stream is like, oh my God, you're going to lose to a guy using the defensive tackle. Well, there's a bit of an explanation to that. Like I said, I play mostly against guys that are using, linebackers and safeties. And if you ask any high-level player, they will tell you that defense is absolutely atrocious in this year's game. Players don't react properly. They're all over the place. The blitz angles, they'll even turn around on you. Like you're trying to go to the sideline and the player will just turn around and not make the tackle. Very, very frustrating. Well, I came to a conclusion after starting to play ranked games and dominating the high-level opponents with my run game of, 400 or 500 yards a lot of the times, at least 300. And then I'd get into a ranked game, and I would play, and again, see, that's the difference, right, between using the defensive tackle and using the linebacker safety. You cannot make plays like that if you're just on the defensive tackle. It's for bums. If you guys watch my video, I made a public service announcement at the beginning of this year, or I think it was at the end of Madden 13, where I told people, get off the defensive line. You're never going to compete if you're on the defensive line. Never in a tournament or any money game or anything like that does anybody ever win on the defensive line. So I really focused on that. I really tried to tell people, man, enough is enough. Too many years have gone by where people are sitting on the defensive line thinking they're going to win, and they don't stand a chance. So then I get into these ranked games, and I'm playing against guys on the defensive tackle. And I played against this guy, and I'm using my run scheme, and I could go nowhere. I was really struggling against the run, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to have to open up the passing game, because he's going to be a sitting duck sitting on the defensive line, So I'm going to have to pass the ball and just take advantage of that and try to get this win, because for whatever reason I can't pass, and I can't run. And that happens a lot when I play guys that use the defensive line, especially the defensive tackle, and I figured it out. And EA is really doing a nice job, well, at least for the guys on the defensive tackle, at giving them a chance. You talk to high-level opponents or high-level players, they'll tell you that this game was made for bums, to give anybody a chance to win, and that definitely is true. And I figured out that defensive players react much, much better when someone uses the defensive line. And the way I figured it out is I started to think about how I was really struggling running the ball against people that were using the DT, not even making plays to the outside. A lot of my runs are to the outside, and they're like nowhere to be found on these runs. I'm running to the outside, they're sitting on the DT, not doing anything, and I'm getting stopped. So then I started thinking about, how you see some of those blitzes out there where it doesn't come through unless you're the safety on the left or you're the safety on the right, or you need to be a certain guy, or if you're moving around pre-snap, it's not going to come through. But if you use the certain guy, it's going to come through, and it's a money blitz. Well, I started thinking, you know what? They made it so that people that are using defensive, linebackers and safeties and moving around pre-snap, trying to get a read on the ball, were actually messing with the AI. And people that are using the DT are not messing with the AI. It kind of goes hand in hand with what I said about the blitz. You use a certain guy in a certain area, you move around, pre-snap, it's messing the AI. You're basically putting your guys into different areas of the field and things like that, which is changing up assignments of other players. And just the way the game is programmed, you're messing up what the player's assignment's going to be, where they're going to go, and it's really costing us. And for the people that are sitting on the defensive line, it's not costing them because they're not doing any of that crazy stuff. And so the players are reacting much, much better to the run and to a lot of other things. Even though they're not making the user plays, you're still going to really struggle because their players are reacting a lot better by the CPU than yours are. So with that said, heading into Madden 15, I made a guess. I kind of made a statement on Twitter that Madden 15 is going to be filled with defense, and I really figured they were going to put a big emphasis on the defensive line. I think EA has finally figured out that the difference between a good player and a not good player is the fact that some people play with linebackers and some people, well, not just that, people that sit on the defensive line really struggle to win. And wouldn't you know it, just yesterday they announced a whole plethora of new moves on the defensive line. I'm going to tell you right now, if you do use the defensive line, you are going to be in for a treat. I feel like you're going to be able to get a ton of pressure. There's going to be a lot of kind of glitchy things, over-effective things. You know how the run game was over-effective? Well, I think defensive line play is going to be over-effective in Madden 25 as we get this win with 5 seconds to go. That's my thought for Madden 15, is that it's going to be overpowered. Just like the run game was overpowered, they're going to overpower defensive line play because EA has figured out that that's the problem. That's why people can't compete, and that is going to be the difference to help lesser players have a chance in Madden 15.